Good morning, friends. Welcome to another morning devotion from Sarin United Church of Christ here in Linton, Indiana. I'm J.D. Rose. I'm the senior pastor here. And sometimes in these morning devotions, I read poems or I read something that I think sparks some interest or some inspiration. Occasionally, I just want to make you smile. That's today. It's another Friday. Let's just smile together thing. So I want to tell you this story. And it's really about expectations, or not knowing what to expect, or dealing with the unexpected. You'll come to your own conclusion. There's no moral to this, really. It happened in a church sanctuary, much like the one behind me. I was sitting in the choir loft. This is in First Reformed Church, used to be First UCC in Bluffton, Indiana, where I was the youth pastor. I was sitting in the choir loft. Next to John Oman. John Oman was one of the dads of some of the kids in my youth group. Great guy, tall, lanky guy who sang next to me in the choir. And in the middle of worship, I saw his wife get his attention from a couple rows ahead of us in the alto section. And she mouthed something to him, and I wasn't really paying attention. And he stood straight up, and he ran out of the side of the choir loft to behind the sanctuary, and he was gone for several minutes. We hadn't sung yet. It was kind of toward the beginning of worship. And when he came back carrying the trays of communion. One of them, I don't remember if it was him or his wife Angie, were on their church council and were supposed to set up communion, and they hadn't done that. So he had the trays of communion with him in his big, long, lanky arms. And he went to the altar kind of in the middle of, I think, the children's moment, and set those down. And then came back and sat by me. And the children's sermon finished, and then we sang our song, so I didn't get to ask him anything. Then the sermon started, and it seemed inappropriate to talk during the sermon. Note to some of you. So he didn't get to tell me until communion was being served. And he whispered to me the following. I ran home. Now, he only lived a block away from church. I ran home to get juice, because we didn't have enough grape juice. And we didn't have any grape juice at my house. And I said, so what did you do? And for some reason I thought, well, he probably just poured wine in these glasses, and that'll be fun to watch. He said, no, I used grapefruit juice. Now, some of you know there is a world of difference between grape juice and grapefruit juice. Some of you can taste the difference right now because you've had one or the other, or both. And so on that day, we got to play one of my favorite church games. Maybe we'll play it here someday when we get to be back in person. And that game was, which people got the grapefruit juice? As communion elements got passed out, we couldn't really tell from the distance we were. I would have loved to have seen someone kind of holding it up and thinking they're watering down the grape juice. But that church, like our church, waited for everybody to take the bread together, waited for everybody to take the juice together. So I took the juice as quick as I could, and then popped my eyes back so that I could watch this whole pocket of folks on one side of the sanctuary all go like they had tasted something terrible. And in that moment, John's wife, Angie, turned around and gave him another look. Here's what I think we can learn from this moment. Life's going to throw a bunch of things at you. That's life. It's going to give you things you didn't expect. It's going to give you things that don't meet your standards. It's going to give you things that cause you to make terrible faces. And maybe even it's going to cause you actual pain, not just discomfort, not just something that's unpleasing. The trick of life, and this is something that John Oman did really, really well. The trick of life is to be able to laugh. To be able to find the joy, to be able to find the moment of levity in the hard stuff, to be able to go, on one hand, you could look at this as some people tasted grapefruit juice when they thought they were getting grape juice. On the other hand, I got to see them do it. I hope this weekend, you find some ways, some things, some moments to laugh, to smile. I hope the stuff that you taste is all delicious and you don't taste anything that turns your face. But if you do, I hope you understand this is all blessing. It's all good. It's all manna from heaven. It's all things that are creating a life full of experiences and stories and love and beauty and, yeah, ugly faces and unpleasing tastes. That's part of it. That's part of the journey, and it's part of the joy. I hope you find a bunch of it this weekend. I look forward to seeing you at worship on Sunday and back here for devotions on Monday. Amen.